Now for a subtle change of pace, our Special Excellence Awards. And the first of these this evening goes to Air Chief Marshal Sir Simon Bryant.
I met Sir Simon first of all on his second squadron, and he had already been serving in Germany, and he was working in the UK at that stage on a fighter squadron flying the mighty Phantom. He had already learnt to fly as an undergraduate at the University of Nottingham as a member of East Midlands University's Air Squadron, and he was certainly quite evidently on his way to the top even then.
I think the really great thing about Simon, and it is a tremendous virtue, is that he came to university not merely to get a degree, but also to take use of all the opportunities that were around him.
I rather like the fairly loose association between being a graduate in geography, his profession as a navigator over terra firma, but the connection with today being our Commander-in-Chief is perhaps slightly loose. Nonetheless, I'm sure he proudly remembers those days.
He's, for us, very much a model student. Got a degree, very workmanlike, got on with that, but really took the opportunity of joining the Air Squadron and succeeding very well at that too. Together it formed the foundation of his career.
He's a very young Commander-in-Chief, probably the youngest we've ever had. Very few people are destined for the top, and apart from filling all the right command and leadership jobs and having served with distinction at the Ministry of Defence and in NATO, he is a jolly nice fellow as well.
What makes Simon particularly special, I think, is the fact that he has had a very clear idea of where he wants to go. He's clearly very dedicated to a career in the armed services, and he's done remarkably well. So he's dedicated, I think he's very single-minded, he's incredibly professional about what he does.
He's kept people at the heart of the many capabilities which the Air Force deploys, and people recognise that, and to him they owe their loyalty because they see him as being 100% trustworthy as a leader, open, honest, and he sets a wonderful example to others as a role model.
I'm sure that Sir Simon's a tremendous role model for our current students. We're absolutely delighted that he has chosen to come back to the East Midlands University Air Squadron to act as patron, and he turns up whenever he can to dinners and other formal occasions. He's
a real leader in all senses of the word, and he is happily, above all, a true gentleman.
It's great to know, isn't it, that when you're a pilot you know where you want to go. I think we can assume that when you are the Air Chief Marshal you lead a pretty busy life, and unfortunately Sir Simon cannot be here this evening. But we have someone to collect the award for him. He is Dr. Roy Bradshaw. Now, Dr. Bradshaw is a former member of staff in the School of Geography and also contributed to the film in his position as chair of the East Midlands University's Combined Military Education Committee. Dr. Bradshaw.
Thank you very much.
Picture.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me particular pleasure. Simon Bryant was a student of mine in the 1970s, and now I'm here on his behalf, thanking you all as Sir Simon Bryant. I know I've spoken to him, and I know that he's very sorry he can't be with us tonight, but you can imagine that if you're in charge of the nation's Air Force, you do have quite a few calls on your time. In fact, I was talking yesterday with an ADC, and I said, well, how the heck does he manage to do it all? And he said, well, the man is not human. He said, every minute of the day he's doing something. He's remarkable energies. He said, except for example, last week, we had 3 days in Saudi Arabia. We had to come back for 2 days of meetings in Whitehall, off to a NATO conference in Quebec for a day and a half, and then back for 3 days in Hungary. Well, there are two things you can learn from that. One is that Sir Simon Bryant is incredibly energetic and a very able military commander and servant to the nation. The other thing you can learn from that is that one of his ADCs needs to brush up on his mental arithmetic. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Very nice. Well done.